Okay, and we're live. Hello, everyone. I know I've been popping in here live a lot this week, but I figure let's get everything in now because the holidays are coming in. And then this is also being recorded. So what I'll do is I'll post this again next week. But I wanted to take this opportunity because I have been working with a really awesome gluten-free coach inside the Path to Healing program. And it was crazy how I found her. Jen, I'm going to talk about you like you're not here right now.
Okay, I'll just close my eyes.
Yeah, turn around. It was crazy how I found her because I just did a Google search and the first name that came up was Gluten-Free Marks the Spot. I'm like, oh, how clever. Yeah. And I clicked on it. We started talking, Jen and I thought she was awesome. I'm like, you got to be part of my program because I can't do these live cooking demos every week. One, I'm pregnant, and two, I just don't want to. It's a lot. And she's like, I love doing them. I'll do them for you. So that's how we started working together. So now what I wanted to do is introduce her to the Minding Your Soul community and let you guys know, one, I've been working with her for months. She's awesome. She's got a great story. I want her to tell you that in a second. And she's got some great programs. So if you are looking for something that is just like, hey, listen, I don't need the whole MS thing. I just need the gluten-free part of it. Jen's your girl. So, Jen, back to you. You have a great story. Thank you, one, for being here with us today.
Well, thanks for having me.
Thank you. I was wondering if you can tell everybody your story because I want them to hear it because you're very much like us, diagnosed, told to get on meds, and then you're like, oh, hell no, I'm not getting on meds. I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your story?
Yeah. So hello, everybody. Yes. Hey, Jeanene. Thanks for having me on. I'm so glad to be here. So my story, it's funny, and I'm sure that you relate to this, Jeanene, and your listeners as well, is that when you have this diagnosis or when you know your step that you need to take, and then you go back and look at everything, you think, wow, this didn't start a year ago. This started 10 years ago, or this started 15 years ago, because you can backtrack and see how all the little pieces come together, right? So if I think of my story, it really starts when I was in high school on the bathroom floor, holding my belly in such pain and not thinking anything about that. I don't know why, right? In college, being rushed to the hospital and being told, oh, you're probably pregnant. I'm like, because I'm a college girl, I'm pregnant. No, I'm in horrific belly pain, didn't tell my parents. The doctors told me that one.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm like, hello. As a young mom, just carrying baskets of laundry up the stairs and almost passing out because I have no energy. I'm like, okay, something's not right here, right? I'm eating things and I'm not feeling good. I go out to eat and I don't feel good, but no doctor would agree with me that it was food. They're like, oh, you're stressed or you're this. I'm like, no, not any more than anyone I know. This is not okay. And they're like, well, you talk about medicines. Put me on medicines. No, what is that medicine going to do? There's no medicine here to take care of this. We don't even know what this is. And for years I would eat and then I would track what I'm eating and go to the doctor and say, hey, I think this is bothering me, but I don't know if it is. Right. And they'd be like, oh, you're causing yourself so much stress because you're worrying about what you're eating. I said, but I'm eating and getting sick. So I'm sure that's what it is now. This is what I've pinpointed. Finally, I had a doctor say, yeah, you're definitely, what you're eating is really aggravating your body. So he sent me to a dietitian and she said, sounds like gluten and dairy to me. And of course I was like, what's gluten? And this was 12 years ago. And unfortunately, she was not much help. She basically said, here's a list of gluten-free breads and Whole Foods is down the street. Make some quinoa and brown rice for the week and you'll be all set. And I was like, what's quinoa? It's like, help? She goes, you can Google whatever else you need. I'm like, I'm paying you. Why? So that was a little disturbing, but I was a teacher and I'm very much into reading and researching and I kind of dove in and, after going to Whole Foods and standing there crying because I was like, what am I looking for? What am I, gluten?
How am I going to live? How am I going to feed my family? I don't even know what gluten is.
Yeah, it was crazy. And it was so hard because no one around me even knew what I was talking about when I said I have to be gluten-free and I don't know what this is. And they're like, oh, I don't know what that is. Why? Is that even a thing?
And back then, 12 years ago, you didn't have gluten-free food. There were no gluten-free anything on the shelves. It meant exactly junk that tasted like crap. And so it was just fruits and vegetables, meat and chicken. And you're like, I can't live like this, but I can't live sick either. So then what do you do?
Oh, yeah. So I figured, okay, corn's a good thing. Corn's gluten-free. I'll eat corn. And I was more sick than ever. And found out I was intolerant to corn as well. So, but corn, you can have a reaction to gluten. Corn can give you the reaction the same that gluten has for many people. So that could correlate for a lot of people. And once you heal your gut and once you move forward, that can be better. That can get better. You can maybe eat corn again. I haven't been able to, but that's okay. We figured it out. But as I was researching and diving in and trying to figure out for myself, I had all these red flags about celiac disease. I'm like, well, gee, my son is 2 years behind in his dental. I mean, this has been told to us. That's textbook celiac. And my son was really small at the time. I was always a small kid, so I didn't think much about it. But red flag. And then my daughter, she had always at night, Mommy, lay down with me. My belly's so bloated. I don't feel good. And the doctor's like, oh, your daughter's stressed. I'm like, she's in 3rd grade. She's not stressed. But she would go outside and play and come in 10 minutes and be like, I'm so tired. I'm like, you're in 3rd grade. Let's get back outside and throw the ball. She's like, I'm so tired, Mom. She had no energy. She was bloated. She started having vitiligo down her leg where you lose the pigment of your skin. And like each one of these things, no one put together. But as
it's amazing how they just body shame. They go, oh, it's you. It's stress. You're obviously doing something. They never look at the body and go, what's not happy?
Yeah.
What can we fix? What are we putting inside the body that might not be working? Right?
Yeah.
Right.
And doing all this research for myself, it led me to find out that my daughter, who was in 3rd grade at the time, and my son, who was in 1st grade at the time, had celiac disease. And I just thank the Lord that I found out that I had to be gluten-free, because I don't think we would have ever put their pieces together to say that was gluten, right? And my son grew 4 inches in 1 year after he went gluten-free. I was like, wow. The doctor's like, yeah, he needed to be gluten-free. And my daughter, vitiligo stopped in its tracks. She had been having some tics where her arms just fly out. And the top neurologist wanted to put her on all kinds of medication. I said, no, there's got to be something else. And then when we realized she had celiac disease, it all stopped. Everything went away. No more tics. My son grew. My daughter's belly issues all went away. The vitiligo stopped in its tracks. Like she has a little mark on her leg, but that could continue to grow across your whole body. So, it's like, wow. And I gained my energy. I had energy. I felt great. I was like, I just remember waking up one day and thinking, wow, my belly hasn't hurt me all day today. And I don't look like I'm 6 months pregnant. Wow. And it was this amazing moment of, why did I let myself live like that for so long? Because we think we don't think we eat and we feel sick. And then we shouldn't eat that. We think, oh, is it the pollen outside? Do I have a virus? Do I, what's going on? But when you start to key into what am I eating? How am I feeling after I eat that? And seeing that correlation, it was like, wow. It was just like,
it's mind-blowing, because we're not taught this in school, and we think that we're taught all the essentials that we need. Once we reach a young adult, we're like, all right, we got this. No, we don't, because all of these health issues happen and we're not equipped to even troubleshoot them. We're not even equipped to troubleshoot them, let alone handle them, because these are the things that we're not taught. And it's through no fault, really. We're just, as a society, we haven't caught up yet. Our parents weren't taught it, so they couldn't even teach it to us.
Yeah.
Right. We are now the generation, I think, that is taking control of our health, teaching our children how to do that, right? By either hands-on teaching them or just being the example to show them that it's possible, so that hopefully the world starts changing over and going, okay, let's start teaching this from a young age to avoid all of this. So please continue. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, and that's a great point that you say. Like, how would we know when we go to our conventional doctors? They never look at what food you're eating. They're not taught that in school, which is such a problem, because a lot of what we put in our body can heal us or can take our health away. And just being mindful of your plate and what you're eating and how you're feeling can change so much for your future. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing.
I'm so glad. Thank you so much. So now this is, you've come such a long way. So now you're completely gluten-free, corn-free, dairy-free. And how are holidays at your house? Because that's the number one question I get. Oh my God, how do you do the holidays?
Yeah, well, our first couple of holidays were not so fun. We fell into that, oh, I can't eat this, sitting at the table looking at all that gorgeous food in front of you and thinking, well, what am I going to eat? What am I going to have? I can't have this anymore. I can't have my mom's creamed onions. I can't have my dad's stuffing. I can't have, all these foods. And then I was like, what? Wait, we're not going to live like this for the rest of our lives. No. And if you realize it's this very big mindset that you put on yourself of deprivation. Deprivation is your mindset, because guess what, my friends? There is so much out there for us to eat when we are gluten-free and when you have other allergens as well, allergies to other foods. People will say, well, I can't have gluten, but I also can't have dairy or corn or nuts or seeds. And I'm like, so I can't eat anything. I'm like, that is not true. Open your eyes. We have learned about so many new foods being gluten-free, right? There's so much out there. And I'm not talking about what's on the processed food aisle, so much, but when you open your eyes and realize what's out there and all these delicious foods that you can eat, we took everything my parents made because Jeanene, have you ever eaten Thanksgiving meal at someone else's house that's not your family?
Oh, yes, it's awful. I don't know where you're going with this, but yeah, it's awful.
Yeah. And you look at the dishes and you're like, this is not Thanksgiving.
No. My first Thanksgiving at my first husband's house, we went over there. Now, my mother's Italian, so Thanksgiving was always such a spread. I mean, she cooked for days leading up to Thanksgiving. So here I am, trying to be the good girlfriend, and I go to my boyfriend's house for Thanksgiving, and she's getting ready to put everything on the table, and I catch her opening up a can of yams and pouring them into the serving bowl and putting it on the table. I'm like, what did I do? And then I see on the counter the box of potato spuds that you add the hot water to. And I'm like, what did I do? Never again. I never again went there. So yeah, I know what you mean. You're sitting there in front of all of these foreign foods going, this isn't Thanksgiving. We all have our own special Thanksgiving foods that make it special.
That make it special, that make it your holiday. Like your holiday table is, those are your memories. That's what you grew up with. And when you're sitting at a table and you can't eat anything in front of you, that's that feeling, or you're thinking, what is that? That's your feeling of being gluten-free. It's like, what am I going to eat? But when you turn that around and say, all right, I'm going to make this gluten-free. And I said to my parents, I need all of your recipes. And I took them all and we played around, and it took a while, but we got everything down. So if you come to my house for Thanksgiving or Christmas meal, it's all gluten-free, dairy-free, and corn-free, and no one complains. They all eat it and love it. And it's amazing because we figured it out, right?
We figured it out. And this way, when you either host Thanksgiving or you go to a Thanksgiving, you don't even tell people that it's gluten-free and dairy-free, because it doesn't matter. It's delicious.
No,
right?
Exactly. And if I don't say, hey, this is all gluten-free, most people who would eat with us know that we're gluten-free. But if they don't say, ew, what's this? Or when you say, here, try some of this, it's gluten-free, and you get your friends that go, oh, no, thank you. Ew. Gluten-free, ew,
right? That mindset of gluten-free equals taste-free. They're not wrong. That's the way it used to be. That's where we came from. But we've come such a long way. We're able to really enjoy our foods. Yeah, I'm being 6 months.
Such a long way.
Yeah, and being 6 months pregnant, I think I enjoy my food a little too much. Back when I first started doing gluten-free and I did feel deprived, I was really thin. Now, yeah, there's a ton of foods. So I love how you have been able to not only heal yourself, but heal your family. Everyone eats this way and everyone's happy. But then you took it a step further. You didn't just say, okay, we're all set up for life here. Let me just continue on with this. What you did was say to yourself, the world needs to know. The world needs, I look at the comments over here. Sorry. Rhonda, hello, and Quinn, gluten-free, yum, exactly. Quinn, you just posted a link to New York style gluten-free pizza dough crust. I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait to try that. I can't wait. So, Jen, back to you. You took it in the next step. You took it a step further and you said, the world needs to know about this. This was so hard for me to figure out how to do this, and it didn't have to be that hard. So let me take this to the world and show them and help them. And so that's why I wanted to really bring you on here and let everybody know, what are these programs that you're offering that are making life so much easier? We're making the transition to gluten-free so much easier.
Yeah, thank you for letting me share this. Yeah, well, it took us a few years to really get things down and understand, how do you do this in your family? How do you set this up? Because you kept learning, I kept learning more. The more research I did, the more my children became gluten-free. Then I really dove in and made sure we were set. And my third guy came along and he was born into it. And we found out, yes, he had to be gluten-free. So their 3 children and myself are all gluten-free. My husband is not, but we all live in a very happy gluten-free household. Yes. And figuring that out was tough. And I thought, when you looked back, it was like, that did not have to be that hard. We suffered for 2 or 3 years trying to figure this out. That's not okay. It was not okay. There were things that we should have been able to realize sooner. So I kind of put together everything we learned and kind of packaged it up and started talking to other people and helping them learn to live gluten-free. Because, everybody that you meet is a little different. Some people grow up on, eating healthy and leading healthy lifestyles, and other people are eating processed foods their whole lives. And you have to kind of take them from where they are and show them how to take that step and move into, how do you incorporate gluten-free living now into your lifestyle? Whether you're the only one in your household eating gluten, or it's your whole family, or are you going to make it your whole family, or just half of your family? How does that work, right? How do you get rid of that cross-contamination in your house? Because that's a big step. Where's that hidden gluten? So taking all the really important pieces that you have to know about, because there's a foundation that you have to have set, right? You have to know what to eat, the hidden gluten, the cross-contamination, setting up your home, all those important pieces. Like, I'll talk to someone who's gluten-free for 5 years and they're like, this sucks. This is horrible. I'm like, no, why? Why?
Then. Yeah.
Yeah. And they don't have some of those pieces in place. So if you don't understand some of the basics first before you build onto that, it does hold you back. And this your mindset is a huge piece, because, my thing is, I want to teach you to create a gluten-free lifestyle you love. And people are like, you're crazy. I don't want to be gluten-free, but I have to be. I'm like, yeah. So once you accept that, and once we find all those benefits, I have energy. I feel good. I go out and do everything. I'm not held back now because I have to be gluten-free. My kids are healthy, right? My daughter went off to college and she looked at me. She's like, Mom, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And I was like, wait, what? You're gluten-free. You've got this down. She goes, oh, not that. How am I going to stay healthy in college? I'm like, she had it. She knew, And so, so I kind of took everything, and I work with families, typically moms, but I'm open to working with everybody. But I work with moms and teach them how to incorporate gluten-free living into their family and how to make that work. So whether the mom is gluten-free, or whether you're the mom who's taking care of your kids who are gluten-free, or how many of your family members are, who you're caring for, and just teaching you those steps you need from where you are, right? Because everybody's on a different place. So working one-on-one is wonderful, because you can get a lot done together. and we go through all that, building the foundation, cooking together, shopping together, all the fun stuff, depending on where we are. But we've done a lot over Zoom over these last months that we've all
COVID months, right?
stuck at home. We can still do quite a lot over Zoom. So it's just really fun to watch other people realize that being gluten-free, having celiac disease, or being gluten intolerant, or knowing that gluten-free living is a healthier way for you to be, is not something that is going to make your life suck.
Right. And you will enjoy your foods again. I think that's why people are always like, oh God, gluten-free, because it's gotten such a bad rap about how bad it tastes. And at one point they were right, but it doesn't have to be that way anymore. And that's why in the Path to Healing program, at least in my program, you come on every other Thursday and teach us exactly how to cook and what it looks like, because we can give them all the information in the world, but until we show them exactly how easy it is, people go,
Absolutely.
oh, I can do that. And then we teach them that, listen, you can't live without your comfort foods. At least I can't. I don't know how many people I speak for, but I need my comfort foods. I need my chocolate, I need my cake. I need all of those things. I'm Italian. I like food. Sometimes I emotionally eat. Sometimes I eat to, sometimes I cook to show love. Like it's just such an emotional thing. So going gluten-free, you will absolutely enjoy your foods, probably a little bit more, because your foods are going to love you back. Whereas right? Whereas before you were just eating because you loved your foods, but man, those foods hated you. They made you feel awful, but yet you kept eating them. Yeah. So Quinn says right here, Quinn's online with us. Thank you so much for joining us, Quinn. I would rather be gluten-free than falling into that, but it tastes good, Trout. Plus it has truly become amazing. Yeah. Quinn is a master at this. And thank you for that, because you're right. You fall into that. I don't want to give up my foods. Well, you know what? You might be giving up some foods, but you're going to be bringing in so many more foods that taste good. Like I still eat pizza. Of course I eat pizza. I would never give that up. Yeah, it's gluten-free and it's dairy-free and it's delicious. Yeah. So my husband, like yours, is not gluten-free. He's a caveman through and through. Right? There's nothing refined about that man. I love him to death, but he's a caveman. He will eat anything. And he genuinely likes the gluten-free pizza better. He says the crust has a flavor to it. It's good. Yeah. Whereas you eat regular pizza crust, it's just air. It's just air. Yeah. So when you know how to make exactly, and you need the chewiness, you need all that stuff, but the gluten-free stuff can actually be better than the regular stuff. And I know that's a hard concept for people to believe. So Jen, how many programs do you offer? And for people wanting to work with you, how can they find you and sign up?
Oh, absolutely. So right now I'm working one-on-one with people. And I also have a program that's starting in January that I'm super excited about. This is called the 6 Weeks to Gluten-Free Wellness. And it is going to be a very good foundation. I'll be teaching it live on Zoom. And so we're all together, like we're in a classroom together. And I'm teaching you all those foundational pieces that you need. What you're eating, cross-contamination, hitting gluten, reading labels, finding the food that works for you, right? All the good stuff you need. But I'm also tying in creating, like my whole thing is, I believe that when you change your plate, you change your health, you change your life. So with all of that, I'm adding in learning about digestion and why that's important to understand. Stress, sugar, fats, oils, like all these other pieces of how to choose better options to really increase the health on your plate. And what can we take out to really help your body work at its best for your health, right? To thrive in your own lifestyle. And so each piece then we get into like sleep and all these habits that you can create within these 6 weeks together. Because I'm telling you, when you take small steps, you get such big rewards from them. You know this, Jeanene. We talk about this all the time. So you make these small tweaks in your everyday life, and it's amazing the transformation that you can make. And when you have the right pieces in place and you understand, why is my body reacting this way? How you become mindful of what are you putting on your plate and why that matters, right? Why shouldn't I eat all that processed food from the gluten-free aisle? It's gluten-free. It's better for me, right? No, no, it's processed food. Again, thankfully though, as you've mentioned too, is that gluten-free processed food has come a long, long, long way. We have, and you can find healthy options nowadays. So, I mean, yes, that's what we do sometimes. So am I expecting you to have smoothies and eat quinoa every day? No, no, because I feel like we give up a lot because we have to be gluten-free. You're not living in deprivation, but you still have that mentality of you're still giving up a lot. So you should not give up the first thing I did, Jeanene, I went out and found chocolate.
Oh my God, me too. I needed my chocolate stuff. Yeah, it was pizza and chocolate. Yes.
Yeah, it's like if I have to live without chocolate for the rest of my life, I can't do this. I
Nope.
found gluten-free chocolate, and even my whole relationship with sugar has changed over the years. I was a sugar-aholic years ago, and that has just decreased and decreased and decreased. So I have my dark chocolate square, and I'm happy, but I still have it. I'm not deprived from that. I still have that, and we'll make our chocolate cake or our chocolate, gluten-free, of course. But it's not about living in deprivation. It's living in balance, right? Having that balance, knowing what you're putting on your plate, being mindful of that, but having so much entwined in this. I'm just so excited about this program because it is just really going to change lives. And I can't wait to share it. So I'm opening that up next week, actually.
Good.
And then Jeanene, next week we have our gluten-free shopping spree. I have a Gluten-Free Moms Facebook group, and I brought together over 15 companies that all offer gluten-free products that we're coming together next week. We're in my group, and they're sharing their products, their companies, sales, prizes. It's going to be so much fun. But during that time, I'm going to talk about my program some more, and that's when I'll open up registration for it. But yeah,
I'm excited about that because, we get stuck in our ruts. We go down the same aisles at the grocery stores. We cook the same things every week. So this gluten-free shopping spree, I know, is going to introduce me to so many new gluten-free foods. And especially with the holidays coming up, holidays or not, I'm pregnant. I just enjoy food 1,000% more than I ever did. And I enjoyed it a lot before. So I'm looking forward to finding all of these new foods that I can actually, and give gifts as too. That's a good idea too.
Absolutely. And it's not just food, it's beauty products, it's supplements, it's lotions. I mean, there's so much more. Wine.
Well, there's going to be Christmas shopping in there, definitely.
So yeah, it's definitely, get some things for you. It's going to make your gluten-free life easier, because we forget supplements. That is a huge case of hidden gluten.
Oh yeah, and medicines, the over-the-counter stuff. You think you're just taking over the counter and it's fine? No, there's gluten. I've glutenized myself with Theraflu back in the day.
Oh yeah. So knowing that and sharing all these, I'm very excited to share that. So if you guys are interested in that, I'd love to just share that link with you, Jeanene, later.
Yeah, we're gonna post this in the group, in the comments. This is live right now. It is almost 2:00 in the afternoon. So we're going to be posting this again and again though. And as the dates are coming up closer. Now, if you're watching the replay, great, still comment, because you know how Facebook works. We still get the notifications. And Jen is in this group. So if you have any questions specifically for Jen or her program, her website is Gluten-Free Marks. Yeah, we got to say that part. Gluten-Free Marks the Spot. Now, if you look at her name right there, Marks is Marcks. So Gluten-Free Marks the Spot. I'll post it. We'll also post the date of the shopping spree. And I want you to know that I am going to open up one of Jen's gluten-free cooking demonstrations that is exclusive for my Path to Healing clients. But I'm going to open that up to everybody. So, if you're watching this before, when did we say? November 18th. I'll post the link, the Zoom link, where you can join us at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, I'll post everything. But if you're watching this after November 18th, don't worry. I will be doing this again so that this way you can get a little taste of Jen's work, because honestly, it's so much fun to watch her. She's such a professional. It's like watching Rachel Ray on there. I absolutely love it. So I'm excited for everyone.
I just like to be in the kitchen. But yeah, well, and for the cooking classes, it's so fun because I get to teach you yummy, easy, and delicious gluten-free recipes, and then give you those tips because you need those extra tips for gluten-free food, right?
See what I mean? She's really good at cooking and talking at the same time, where in my program, I do every other week. So I do the weeks that Jen doesn't do, and I'm the one who can't talk and cook at the same time. So I'm like dropping things and cursing and burning the oil over there. Yeah, we offset each other quite nicely.
Yeah, my friends often call me after the class and they'll be like, I was waiting for you to chop off a finger. And I'm like, no, I'm okay.
No, it's really cool. It's fun to watch you. So we'll be posting this on the group. Like I said, anyone, if you're watching the replay, still post in the comments. We will get the notifications. Tag Jen. She's in the group. She's part of Minding Your Soul. She's also part of the Path to Healing program because, like us, she healed herself. Doctors told her that there was nothing that she can do. It was her own body. It was stress. They tried body shaming her as well. And she took matters into her own hands, just like we're all doing, and said, no, I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to live a really happy life. And she did, not only for herself, but her entire family, and now all of her clients, and now our community too. So yay. Jen, thank you so much for doing this with me. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on, Jeanene. This is great. I love cooking for your group. It is just so much fun. Yeah.
Thank you. We're going to get more people in front of you. And you know what? We're just going to teach them how easy and fun and delicious this could be. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you later. Have a great day.
Bye. Thank you.